Hello there, folks. This quick video today is going to show you how to take an average reading of some tags you might have. So, for instance, if this application, let's start off completely fresh. Let's go to data tags on the left, and let's pretend that we have a tag, and maybe it's some kind of analog input. So we'll just call it AI, for instance. Now, since I don't have any real analog inputs connected to this, I'm going to have this thing mimic an analog input by using the random number generator. So if I hit the pull down here where it says source, go to general, I can then type in this field, and I'm going to type the word random, open parentheses, and maybe I want this to be a number between a 16-bit integer from 0 to 65,535. So I'll put 65535 in here, close parentheses, hit enter, notice it turns blue. So this random generator will generate a number between 0 and 65,535 all the time. So first, I'd like to show that to you. So if I go to display pages on the left, go to data tags on the right, I'll drag this out here, put it on the screen, make it a little bigger like so we can see it. And I'll just go ahead and download to my screen. I'm using one of the 4-inch cadet screens today. And now if I, let's see if I can get the Alt tab to work here. Okay, so here is what's going up on the screen right now. So that's working great. So if we go back to Crimson, my goal is to take an average reading of this. So I think, let's ponder my thoughts. If I go over to, well, let's do it this way. Let's go here to Programs. And let's say here in the programs that we're going to load in a reading every second of this integer, of this this value. So let's say, for instance, let's go this called tag. Let's see, tag 1 is going to be equal to, you know what? No, let's do it this way. Hold on. Let's go back to the data tags over here. I'm going to create a new tag here. I'll call it tag 1, but instead of it being just one element, I'm going to hit the pull down here and make it an array. And I want this thing to take an average reading over a minute time. So I'm going to put in 60 elements in here. And then I need some kind of an index value. So I'm going to create another one here. And I'll call this one J, for instance, lowercase j. Okay. So now if I go back to my program section here, where I just was at, I'm going to say, you know what? I want this tag here. Notice when I drag it out, it gives a brackets and a 0. But I really want this to be the value or the variable j. I'm going to say equals tag, let's go here, tag j. Oops. No, I'm sorry, team. We're going to say tag j equals this reading. We're going to take our analog input, each reading, and fill it into tag j here. Then when we get done doing that, we're going to say j equals j plus 1. Yes, we could do the 2 plus signs, but we're going to try it this way. So I've got this program. I'm going to go ahead and compile it, hit the translate button here. Notice it turned green, so that's good. So if I go back to display pages on the left, maybe I would like to show you these values. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to go over here to the right side. When I click on tag 1, notice this icon right here, toggle array. If I hit this, I can now see all 60 elements that are part of that array. So if I grab 0 through, say, 9, for instance, I'll drag it down here like this. I need to get, okay, so we'll make this guy a little bigger. We'll lift this up here like this. And then if we grab the next 10 elements, drag them here like this. And maybe I didn't grab 10. Let me try it again. Number 10 to number 19. There we go. It should be the same height. Why does it look like it's off? Because this is probably number 10, isn't it? Yes, that's why. Okay, so we do that way, and what do we do here? Let's go down here. We'll try one more. Oops, not that many. Let's try it to 30, and hold down the Shift key, that guy. We'll drag these guys out here as well. Same size as, there we go. Okay, now I'm also going to show you here, if I go back to slide all the way to the top, collapse that tree. I'm going to drag this out here just so you can see the element J. And I want to call this program once per tick. So I'm going to click on Pages on the left, right here. I'm going to go to the lower right-hand corner, click Programs. I'm going to drag this guy out here into the on-tick field like this. So this should call the program once a second. So if we want to see this happen, let's go ahead and download this to our screen. And if we go look at the browser, here it is. Okay. And you can see here, every second, I'm filling in one of the array of elements of whatever this random number generator is doing. And this will continue on forever right now because, well, it'll do the first 60, and then this will keep counting up and won't fill any more in. So what we're going to do, let's go back to our application here. And if we go over here to Programs, we can say, all right, so this is running, it's filling in. Then we can come down here, we can say, we could ask the question, you know what, if open parentheses, J is greater than or equal to, that's not a greater than or equal to 59. So after 1 minute here, let's do some calculations because our goal is, of course, to add up the average every minute. So we're going to go down here, open brackets, enter, and we're going to say, you know, we're going to do like a for loop. We're going to say for, and here, if you don't know what a for loop does, we hit the help pull down and go to contents. We can open up the online manual, and if we go to edit, find, we can search for for loop, and it brings us here. Then you can click on this, takes you to the page, and what I'm looking for is what is the structure of a for loop. So you have the initialization here, you have the condition, and you have the increment value here. Okay, so if I go back to my thing here, I'm going to say for, and in this case I'm going to say, you know, t equals 0. It's going to start t equals 0 semicolon, and then as long as t is less than or equal to 59, because we have basically 60 readings, so that'll work. And then we'll go t plus plus, which is the increment. All right, so now we'll come in here and we'll do this open brackets, and we're going to say sum is equal to sum, plus, and we're going to grab this. I'm going to watch this. I'm going to grab this thing like this right here. Whoops, not there. Let me grab this guy right here. I'll place it right here. However, instead of this being just element 0, I'm going to make that to t as in Tom. That way it's going to increment. And what this is going to do for me is every time this runs, sum is going to immediately increment to a great number. It's going to add all of these up. Okay, so let's pretend we got done. We added them all up. We know now that sum is the sum value of all the readings. So now after we get done with that, we're going to say, you know, average then is going to be equal to sum divided by 60, like so. Okay, so that takes care of that. Looks good, looks good. Now, a couple of things we should do when we get done with this. We should probably reset our sum to 0 when we're done with this, so we can do the next reading. And we should also reset our J increment to 0 as well, so it can start over. So let's try this here now. All right, so we have this part here. Okay, is going to fill in each individual. It's going to do J up to 59. Not until we get to basically 60 seconds go by do we step in and increment and do this stuff. So at 60 seconds, or 59 here, 60 seconds, we're going to immediately go and summarize all of the readings. And then we get done with that, we're going to take that sum and divide it by 60 samples. Then the average is now going to have that value. And then we're going to reset our sum and our J variables. We don't have to reset T because it resets inside this loop here. Notice the diamond over here is yellow. That's because we have not translated the program. So you have to click in this window here to get this magical button here to show up. If you click over here, did they fix that? Wait a minute, they must have, or if you click over here, oh, they must have fixed that. Look at that. Well, anyway, used to be you had to click here. I'll be darned. Let's see. Wow. All right, well, I'm going to click that. Okay. Notice now that it's barking at me. It says, hey, you got a tag called integer. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to declare that. And then it has another one called sum. Yes, I'll declare that as well. And, of course, average. Yes. Okay. Now we've got that set up. Let's go back to our display pages. And if we want to see this work, team, let's go ahead and go to data tags. And just for giggles, I grabbed T out. I don't think we'll see this increment because it'll be so fast. But I'll grab the sum number out. We'll see what this looks like. It should be some huge number. And of course the average that's going to get updated once a minute. All right, let's go ahead and try this. I'll download it to our screen. And let me go fire up our browser. Where is my browser? Really? Okay. Oh, there's my browser. All right, so we're at 8 seconds, 9 seconds here. You can see that it's filling out. I didn't, and this is only the first 30 tags that you're seeing here on display. I did not make this cover the full 60. I guess I could have made this so we didn't see the tag name here, but how come these aren't filling in? Now, well, let's see what happens here. I must have skipped a few numbers. But when this gets to 59 seconds, that's when all this magic right here should happen. So at J equals 59 or greater than is when we should see this magic. So let's see what happens here at 59 seconds. We should see a sum fill in a big number and an average reading. Let's see. Here we go. There you go. Now we didn't see the sum fill in because that took the number quickly, and then our program reset it. So that's why we didn't see that. But we can see T equals 60, although this should reset the next reading. Well, it's going to stay 60. It finished out, and it should have gotten reset back to 0 the next time we get in here. I don't think we have to set that loop, but let's just see what happens here. Hold on. $30 to go. Let's see what it does here. Okay, we're getting pretty close. All right, here we go. Let's see what it does here. See if our average changes. Slightly changes, not much, but it's going to be between 0 and 65,535, so it's going to be probably pretty often in the middle. So that just shows you how you can do a average program. If you wanted to do the same example and have it run over the course of an hour instead of once a minute like I'm doing now, what you could actually do here, let's ponder my thoughts. Instead of executing the program here on tick, I'm going to delete this, so I'm no longer calling the program. And I could go to data tags here, and what I could do is I could create a tag that looks at each minute. So the way I would do this, I'll create a new tag here, and I'll call this minutes, for instance. Yeah, minutes. Okay, and I want to get this tag the minute counter. So if I hit the pull down here and choose general, I can type get seconds, SEC, open parentheses, get now, open parentheses, close parentheses, hit enter. So what this is going to do, let's call this seconds. I did this wrong. Let's call this seconds. This is going to just count up the seconds. And if I wanted to have a reading every minute now, I could go to triggers, hit the pull down here and choose absolute high. And when this guy gets to 59, because it's going to go from 0 to 59, when it goes to 59, I could go to programs over here, and I could drag this into the action here. So that's going to count the program, and that's going to do the exact same thing. Yep. Matter of fact, when J equals 59, because this is keeping track of the minutes, it's going to do this, and it's going to execute correctly. So if I want to see that happen, I'm not going to let it run, but I'll go here. I'm going to go ahead and download it, and let's see what it does here. All these values come back to 0, and we're going to have to wait for the, we'll wait here. You'll see this value here will change minutes, and it'll count all the way up to 59 minutes, and then at 59 minutes, it's going to run the exact same thing I just did on the second scale, but now at a 59-minute counter. So anyway, that's a quick and easy way to do an average values with the RedLion HMI. So just to summarize, we've got our analog input tag. In this case, it's yellow because I'm using a formula, but yours could be a green or it could be red if it's to a PLC. And then I have just an internal tag here that is an array type of 60 elements. That's going to keep track of each individual reading. And then I created a J counter. This is the index for this guy. I have a T, which I could have declared locally in the program, but I opted to do it this way. The sum will add up all the values after 59 readings, and then the average will take the 59, or the sum readings divided by 60 will give us the average. And then I'm using the seconds here in conjunction with the triggers tab to execute my logic now once a minute instead of once a second as I was doing originally. So that's a quick way of how to generate average values. Hey, thanks a lot. Have a great day.